Hi, it's Aine Divine here, and this is somewhere that I've been swimming in all summer. It's Gladhouse Reservoir here in Scotland, and I really love it here, and I've been here morning, noon and night, and I just thought, seeing as Rose is here this week, that I thought it would be a nice place to paint on camera. I've never painted here before, and it's kind of nice to know that there's people joining me when I'm painting, so let's see. I feel like it makes a difference. Otherwise I would just be swimming, I think. And we will go for a swim after to wash off the paint. Having said that I've been here morning, noon and night, there are times in the morning and late evening when the light is probably more inspiring. But I think sometimes you just kind of need to tackle whatever it is that you're presented with. And sometimes those end up being really lovely, inspired painting sessions too. So when you don't expect to do anything amazing. So I don't know what's going to happen, but let's see. I've been using my hand as a viewfinder, and I've sorted out this the image here with the farmhouse and the island beyond that I'm going to paint here. And I brought in the masking tape a little bit because I wanted it to be a narrower rectangle. That I don't want it to be that long. I think I'm going to start with the trees here, the high dark trees here, and then come across for the little slip of the island, and then there's the farmhouse there, more trees, and then there's an exciting line of trees here with the field through the trunks that I think is a strong enough focal point. And after that I'm just going to kind of forget all about all of that I just said and start looking at the paint, looking at the image, looking at the paper, and creating some kind of rhythm between the three things that will hopefully result in something interesting. Oh Jesus, sorry. Okay. So I want to organise myself so that I can easily access the paint and the water. And already I'm looking at the sap green, and I reckon that's quite a good colour to begin with. But I knock some of the green out of it with, what'll I do now? Let me see. Oh yeah, I think with some of the burnt sienna, bit of burnt sienna in it. And sure, if I've got another sheet of paper, if I want to, I can just play with this. And you know, in the end it's all just play, isn't it? It's all just play, really. Okay, so let me see. Knocking the green out of it with the burnt sienna. There's some beautiful dogs walking along there. Okay, and now I'm going to begin. Yeah. Okay. And now I need some darker green, so you've got to use the Jenkins green, maybe with a slightly smaller brush. It's good to make different marks, and if you pick up different tools like rags and brushes, it allows you to make a variety of marks and keep yourself interested in it. So that's Jenkins green mixed with burnt umber. Maybe I'll pick up this again. It feels good, you know. It feels good just coming from different directions and kind of swearing in your head. Maybe eventually out loud. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go across the way here now, not unlike that shade, but it's actually a toned down version because of it being in the distance. So, let's see. Might just be a little sliver of those trees that I get, which is no harm. And you can close one eye and half close your eyes, or close one eye and see the colour you're aiming for as you're painting it. Might be quite good for the rocks there. I probably want it to be a bit darker than that though. So I think some ultramarine blue and burnt umber into it will deepen the tone of that there a little bit. It'd be quite good to have some sort of texture there that'll be different from the sky, but do you know, it's okay, I think. I think it's okay. It's the colour I was kind of aiming for the stones. I'll dry off this brush and go back to that. Yeah, in here. Okay, I'm going to start doing those trees, the landscape beyond. Let's start a new sketch pad. Now I'm going to go back over there because it's really helpful to see things from a distance regularly and to break the heat, take the heat off and forget about it. So I'll just do that for a couple of seconds, see what's happening. It's a bit of a rock climbing adventure to take a few steps back today because I'm barefoot and there's boulders here. Boulders are helpful though to keep to put on top of the paper so it doesn't fly away. Okay. Alright, so there's the purple. And I think if I put something like oh yeah, I was going to do the hills. That's what I'm going to do. The hills next. So purple with the Jenkins green, I'd say, would be the business. Yeah, that's okay. No, the hills have quite a smooth texture in relation to the trees and the vegetation. So what I'm going to do is put some masking tape down. And now as I'm looking at it with the masking tape in my hand, I actually feel like putting the masking tape here to capture the line where the water meets the land beyond first. I think that might be a good place to have a clean line where the water stops and the land beyond starts. And I also thought that maybe it would be quite nice to have a line of masking tape. A line of masking tape too, where the landscape, where the hill stops. Back here. Not that it's completely straight, but not that it's completely straight. Okay. Not that it's completely straight, but it's allowing me to have a clean enough edge. I just wanted to splash something on there. I kind of enjoy that as well. Let's see now. So I'm going to dry this off so that, yeah, the tape can go on here where the hill goes like that, and then it slightly curves up the way. And it's not going to stick, is it? Because I've just put water all over it. It's not going to stick. So, and I'm kind of okay with that because actually I quite like the runs in conjunction with the dry brush marks. And I'm just going to do where the land stops down here first. I think with a smaller brush, again, you want to vary your brush marks so that this reads like more distant than these marks then maybe. Okay, so there we have it, some Jenkins green, sap green and burnt sienna to knock the heat out of that. If I had the cadmium red out, I'd put it in because really I think that's quite colourless. It's not very colourful over there. Oh God. That's actually crimson, it's not cadmium, but sure, it'll really, yeah, that works. Okay, so now, yeah, so let's just do that. And then the not done there now. And then the green beyond is field is quite a yellowish, yellow green, and that's quite a good colour for it. Maybe with a touch of cerulean blue in as well. Cerulean blue looks like that. Cerulean blue and a bit more of the yellow. And then kind of the white of the paper coming through. Okay. And there's that other tree coming out in front again. Like that. Okay. Okay, so on standing back there, what I wanted to do next was the shadow on the water. The shadow that the island is casting on the water, which to me looks a bit like a Payne's grey. And there'll be a sliver of land between the Payne's grey and the dark of the trees that's a different lighter shade, but I think I'll put that in later. I'm just going to go for the dark colour for the lands, the sea first. Okay. And when I said Payne's grey, I have got Payne's grey in the bag, but I think I'm more interested in making the colour by mixing ultramarine blue, burnt umber, and a little bit of the Jenkins green. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. And now I want to see where this line would be in relation to the line where the water meets the distant landscape. I want to see where this line meets the landscape closer to us. Maybe a little bit further down there. Okay. You know, that colour isn't too far off the colour of the hills behind. With a bit of purple in it, I think I might make it the colour of the hills behind, but they need to be really subdued, so I want to kind of push the paint on there with a damp bit of paper towel so that they're soft and flat like that. Yeah. it's very important to me, you know, not to get stuck in the painting and not to become too precious or involved in the marks, but to let them have a life of their own beyond my control. And so when I put something down quickly, often it's a good idea not to even look after you put it down, but to go away for a little walk, look then, and then you can kind of more easily, you kind of get excited actually, because there's something, you see it, you're surprised then because you haven't seen it before. And it does get a bit greener when it goes over to that side, so a little bit of sap green into it as well. Okay, now some thick sky. Okay. It's maybe a bit of a lopsided horizon there, but sure, it's alright. Okay. You know, I was feeling there almost, I was almost feeling ashamed because I wasn't inspired earlier by this amazing landscape. It's got a wildness of its own that you can uncover as you paint. And like every landscape has been pushed up and pulled and all sorts of things have happened to it. And to kind of say that it's not inspiring seems like an insult. And it's just that I wasn't being curious. And now that I'm looking more closely, I feel a real draw towards capturing something of its essence, and not so much kind of wanting to get exactly. I don't like the pictures that I've taken of this landscape because it doesn't capture what I feel, whereas painting it captures more what I feel, I think, or lets me know what I feel actually. This is too yellow for the colour of the sky that I wanted, but I see that it's the colour of a field here. There's a kind of a yellowy field there. It's a bit more yellow than that though. And I want to capture the bright bits and give them a bit of, you know, make them look as full of life as they look through the trees there. Oh. So I'm going to clean my fingers. I keep darting it all the time. There's a thin line between getting kind of lazy with your colour mixing and wanting to keep your momentum up. And yeah, that's all. Alright, I want to get something light between those trees and I'm going to stop for a little break then. I wanted to read is lighter than that, so maybe it's this colour again. Yeah, something like this colour I think that I want behind these tree trunks here. Because that was one of the most appealing parts of the image to me, was these tree trunks and the light field beyond them. That's echoed in this little patch here as well. And then there's maybe something not dissimilar along there, but it needs a bit of red in it. Yeah, and a kind of a duller version of that mustardy colour exists behind the farmhouse up here. I'm not sure if the farmhouse is going to be included or not. When originally it was the thing that I thought would provide a focal point. I'm kind of excited by the variety in the marks, and that's the thing that's holding things together for me really and keeping me interested. So just one little bit more here. And I'm going to stop. Maybe I won't look at it when I stop, but I'll come back and touch it up a little bit more later. I want to get rid of those red marks before stopping. They're not coming off, are they? But it's okay because I can just paint over them maybe. Yeah, I'm going to leave it for a minute. I'm painting over the sky anyway.